Television Network. This is the 530 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jay Cohn.
And I'm Jeanelle Slade. Tax hikes versus budget cuts. The issue at hand as Montana lawmakers gather in special session. Staring at a $227 million budget deficit, lawmakers debate how best to balance the state budget. Montana's special session of the legislature convened at noon today at the state capitol in Helena. Lawmakers expected to meet well into the evening tonight. Our chief political reporter Mike Dennison is there and joins us now with this update. Mike?
The House and the Senate convened the session just hours ago, and already we've had some developments that we expected and some that we didn't. As expected, majority Republicans added a half dozen items to the agenda as options for balancing the budget. Those include extending the state's health insurance premium tax to a pair of smaller nonprofit companies, and consideration of the offer from a private prison company of $32 million to help offset any potential tax increases. For that money, the company wants an extension on its contract to manage the private prison at Shelby in north central Montana. Democrats and Governor Bullock oppose this idea, but Republican leaders say they consider it a critical element of any final budget balancing deal. But then came some of the unexpected. Republicans used their majority to expand the agenda to include a bill that would block a Bullock administration rule to make it easier for transgender Montanans to change the sex listed on their birth certificate. Democrats denounced this move as a waste of time and taxpayer money. However, just because it's been added to the agenda doesn't ensure its passage. Governor Bullock also made a somewhat unexpected move Tuesday. He announced he would immediately put into place the $76 million in spending cuts that he considers part of a proposed budget deal. Republicans had criticized him for not doing so earlier, suggesting he might renege on some of those cuts after the legislature agreed to other budget balancing moves. Another $75 million in budget transfers are likely to go forward, leaving lawmakers and the governor to fight over how to close that final $75 million gap. So, what happens now? Committee meetings and floor sessions will continue into the night as lawmakers try to winnow down the budget balancing options, including some tax proposals. They could finish by tomorrow, but things are still far from settled. At the Capitol, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
All right, thank you, Mike.
If lawmakers and the governor cannot come to a consensus tomorrow, the special session could extend into Thursday. Thousands of people in Puerto Rico are still trying to get off the island after Hurricanes Irma and Maria wreaked havoc. But one Billings man is heading back for a second time to rescue animals.
Q2's Asia Gore met with Dave Pauly today and joins us now with more on his amazing mission. Asia.
Well, Jay and Jeanelle, Dave Pauly also answered the call to help animals in Texas after Hurricane Harvey, and Florida, where Hurricane Irma made landfall. He just got back from several days in Vieques, Puerto Rico, and brought back more than a souvenir.
Vieques got hammered by Irma, pretty much flattened, and then just 12 days later got a second Category 5 storm. And people just can't imagine the devastation from that.
Dave Pauly saw the destruction firsthand when he traveled to Puerto Rico post-hurricane to offer help. Pauly is a senior advisor for the U.S. Humane Society here in Billings. His mission, rescuing animals.
There weren't any human providers there, so we switched our mission to mostly human provision, part animal.
At most disaster scenes, Pauly distributes kibble and rabies vaccinations. But in the wake of such carnage, Pauly found himself handing out hygiene products and food.
A lot of people had to evacuate because they had nowhere to live and had no way to get their dogs off the island. So there were lots of abandoned dogs.
He eventually turned his focus to the animals, rescuing horses trapped by debris and feeding hungry dogs. Pauly says this litter of pups was born the day after Hurricane Irma. He brought them back home for adoption in the U.S.
And we walked out to 27-degree air at 3 in the morning, and they just curled up in little balls and weren't ready for that cold air. But they're acclimating. I mean, they're walking on snow now. They'll adjust just fine.
It's a colder but safer place for these 5 pups who lost their home, too. Pauly plans to check in on their mother when he returns to the island to complete unfinished work.
I'm a disaster junkie. You know, I've been to so many over 30 years, probably 50 different events. And at the end of the day, you know you've made a difference.
And those puppies you just saw will soon be up for adoption at the Yellowstone Valley Animal Shelter. Christmas is just around the corner. Jay.
All right, thank you, Asia. Well, a second deer suspected of chronic wasting disease has been found in Montana. That buck harvested about 3 miles south of Belfry. That's about 15 to 20 miles southwest of the area where Montana's first confirmed case of CWD was identified earlier this month. Bob Gibson, Region 5 Information and Education Manager, tells Q2 that this latest case really isn't a surprise and says it'll actually help better define the area that will be put under further scrutiny by the department's incident response team.
No, it isn't surprising. What it does change is that what we call the incident response area, which is an area around where the diseased deer was found, is defined, and we say that, okay, we're going to start looking real hard within that. That's the area where we would have a hunt to try to determine the pervasiveness and the extent of the disease. What it does is it expands that a whole lot because the new site is outside of where we initially had the response area.
CWD is a progressive fatal disease that, if left untreated, can result in significant population declines within the affected herds. And if you're a Montana deer hunter, the FWP has listed all the precautions and laws regarding CWD. Those details available right now at our website, ktvq.com.
A new sports facility to the area may be the next project on tap for Billings. Economic development leaders will now conduct a sports feasibility study. The $60,000 study will examine amateur sports and facility planning to identify needs to build or improve existing buildings.
It's enhancing what we already have, working together. A number of the events that we bring into Yellowstone County utilize Metra and some of our other facilities throughout the county. So this just is giving us a way to bring in those larger events and look at more of our regional market.
Now, more will be discussed tonight at an open meeting that begins at 6:30 p.m. and it will take place in the Granite Tower downtown. We'll have more information on that meeting tonight at 10 o'clock.
It's another special day here at Q2. We're talking about Turkey Tuesday, and it all wraps up right at the top of this hour.
Samantha Harrelson, along with much of the Q2 crew, has been outside the station collecting turkeys and cash donations today. Sammy, how is it going?
Well, Jay and Jeanelle, it's going pretty awesome out here for Turkey Tuesday. We started collecting turkeys early this morning, and now we're up to a pretty awesome number. 743 turkeys have been donated today, and it's not done yet. We've got some girls from the MSUB Nursing Club who just showed up a couple minutes ago. They're dropping off turkeys, adding to the piles here, and you still have time to as well. We're going to be out here till 6 o'clock taking both donations of turkeys or money or anything that you can give for families in need this holiday season. And there's also some stuff in it for you. If you're donating a turkey, you can sign up to be a part of our Cat Grizz giveaway. The game is this weekend, and you have a chance to win tickets for that. So we'll be doing that drawing in just about 15 minutes here at the end of the show. We'll have that for you, so definitely stick around for that. And the good news is if you've already won one of the prizes today, your name goes back in the drawing for those tickets. Also, you can put your turkeys in either the Grizz or the Cats boxes. Right now, the Grizz are up just a little bit, about 200 turkeys. So if you've got 200 turkeys lying around, you can definitely put them in for the Cats and get their numbers up a little bit. But we'll take any donations out here till 6 o'clock. And of course, we'll be having that exciting announcement at the end of the show. For now, Jay and Jeanelle, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Sammy. We'll join you out there in just a bit. We'll give away those Cat Grizz Skybox tickets this year. We're talking big time.
Still to come on tonight's Health Watch, the guidelines for high blood pressure have changed. Are you at risk?
We'll explain coming up, and a bit later in sports tonight. Scott hears from your Cats and Grizz, including Bob Stitt's theory on why the road team has recently dominated in this series.
And in weather, we started off with rain and snow showers this morning, but then the sun poked through a few clouds and we actually got up to normal, 46 degrees. We're expected to stay near or above normal for the rest of the week. We'll tell you all about it in a few more minutes.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn and Jeanelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire and sports with Scott Green.